Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Game of Thrones. It's a week later and I'm still kind of sick, but I'm a lot better than I was last episode. Last time on Game of Thrones, we had the Reigns of Castamere. The Reigns of Castamere, which was, first off, Jon has abandoned the wildlings. He's not really one of them anymore. He basically blew his cover. Bran is headed north of the wall, and he was separated from Rickon. Oh god. Daenerys has taken Yunkai with, by sending in, Jorah, Grey Worm, and Daario. And yeah, they're all good there. And then Robb Stark tried to mend his alliance with Walder Frey and the Red Wedding. Yeah. Very emotional, very much changes the entirety of the show. And, if you haven't, I don't know why you would be watching this reaction video if you haven't seen that, but actually, if you haven't seen my reaction to that, that may be one of my favorite videos that I've done, honestly. That's such a... that was a gut-wrenching reaction. So, yeah, this is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. Let's stick to this episode and previous episodes of Game of Thrones that I have reacted to. And in terms of talking about the books, the Game of Thrones books, A Song of Ice and Fire, you can't talk about that, some people do, but I don't want you to rely on that if you're like trying to explain something, because there are differences between the books and the shows, or at least that's what people say. So yeah, you can talk about the book, that's fine. Obviously no spoilers. If there's something in there that I haven't seen on here yet, obviously don't spoil that, so yeah. With that being said, let's get right into the Season 3 finale of Game of Thrones. Here we go. Oh, crap. They're killing all the Northerners, aren't they? Yeah. God, so we're still technically going with the Red Wedding. It's still happening because the Northerners are fighting. Because their king was slayed! Fring Kingslayer! Is that his body? Let's just go. Clever that he grabbed a Frey banner so that they won't bother him, technically.
I have a list.
A list of people you mean to kill?
For laughing at me, do I look like Joffrey to you? No.
You cut a little hole in his mattress and you stuff sheep dung inside. Then you sew up the hole and make his bed again. His room will stink, but he won't know where it's coming from.
Lady Sansa.
My sister used to do that when she was angry with me. And she was
that does sound like something Arya would do.
Why sheep shift?
That's the vulgar word for dung.
No, that's shit.
Well, you asked me.
I'm going to have it served to Sansa at my wedding feast.
No.
Yeah.
She is no longer yours to torment.
Everyone is mine to torment.
And that just sums up his
Do well to
character,
remember that,
doesn't
you
it?
Monster. I am the king! I will punish you.
Any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king.
Ooh.
I'll make sure you understand that when I've won your war for you.
Ooh,
My father won
Tywin
the
putting him
real
down.
war. He killed Prince Rhaegar. He took the crown while you hid under Castle Rock.
Ooh. Kinda true. Where were you, Tywin?
I wanted to carry you into the sea and let the waves wash you away. Instead, I let you live, and I brought you up as my son, because you're a Lannister.
I guess it's the thought that counts. I'm not sure about that.
Robb Stark offered amnesty for the Ironborn if they gave us Theon.
And?
Ramsay delivered the terms. The Ironborn turned on Theon, as we knew they would. They handed him over, trussed and hooded. But Ramsay...
Okay.
Well... Ramsay has his own way of doing things.
Okay. Oh, everything makes sense.
You're no good to me dead. We need you.
Okay. I didn't quite catch everything that Roose Bolton said about him, so... I'll try to get it through context clues, don't worry. Sam!
Who are you? Sam! Who are you? Gilly, don't hurt us.
How did they end up
Where are you
here?
going?
You're John's brother.
Yes! Oh, thank you,
He fell from the
Sam!
window.
No, I'm not.
I've been round ghost enough to know a direwolf when I see one.
Yeah.
And I've heard all about Hodor. Hodor. And if you saw it too, you'd run the other way.
You saw the White Walkers and the army of the dead.
Yep.
How do you know that?
The Night's Watch can't stop them. The kings of Westeros and all their armies can't stop them.
What about a queen in Essos? Can she stop him?
In the box, you'll find a special gift. Theon's favorite toy.
Oh, no.
He cried when I took it away from him.
Don't open the box.
Leave the north now, or more boxes will follow with more Theon.
Jeez.
Signed, Ramsay Snow, natural-born son of
Yeah,
Roose
Ramsay
Bolton,
Snow.
Lord of the Dreadfort and Warden of the North.
I wish you'd come with us.
I wish I could. I really do.
They're not gonna meet up with John or anything. They're just going.
Never been with a woman. Never talked to a woman, really. And then she comes at you. Big words, no clothes.
Yeah.
What would you have done?
Yeah.
Way around a man's head. I'll give her that.
Tyrion Lannister is one of the few people alive who can make this country a better place. He has the mind for it, he has the will, he has the right last name, and you are a complication.
Ooh. She'll like
I know
that.
you love him.
None of the Starks had much to say by the end of that meal. Tell you what, though. The hardest thing was getting that wolf's head to stay on the body.
Arya.
You sewed it up. I did.
He's not. He'll take his time.
What kind of coin is that?
It's worth a lot.
That's her Bravos coin,
Sorry.
isn't it?
Bullshit.
Oh! Nice. Yay! Now the Hound gets to fight people. Wow. Not exactly a fight.
Next time you're going to do something like that, tell me first.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Vala Morgulis. Yeah. Oh, hey, Johnny. Oh, no. Ah, dicks.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Oh.
I do know some things. I know I love you.
Oh, man.
I know you love me.
It's like putting down the dog. I don't know if she can do it, man.
I have to go home now.
Oh, it's like old Snow Yeller. Oh! She actually shot him. No, don't shoot him again! Ah, dang it! Quit shooting him! Every relationship, every happy relationship has to end.
Do you remember the oath you swore when you joined this order?
He's not my child, Maester Raymond.
Yeah.
She's one of Craster's wives.
Craster's dead. You should probably mention that.
I hope your penmanship is better than your swordplay.
Miles better.
We had 44 ravens at last count. Make sure they're all fed. Every one of them flies tonight.
Oh.
On the first nigget,
Night.
first night of the full moon. Why is there a G in night?
I don't know. There just is.
My father's not going to go to that. Implores.
Oh no.
What is it?
The White Walkers. Everyone in Westeros is gonna learn about the White Walkers.
Are we being attacked?
Do you know who had this table carved and painted, Sir Davos?
Aegon Targaryen.
He had a smaller fleet than the kings he faced, and a smaller army, but he had 3 dragons, dragons of magic, Sir Davos. My enemies have made my kingdom bleed.
Dragons and magic.
I will not forget that.
That's interesting. So
I will not forgive that.
So he's taking notes from
I will
Aegon.
punish them.
The gold cloaks are looking for me.
They've been looking for me for 20 years. You know your face? I'd worry more about the Red Woman.
Yeah. Just pick a different name and you'll be alright.
Have a bowl of brown for me.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Ow! Fell on the arrows. Oh, but he made it back to Castle Black. That's at least nice.
Cersei.
Guess who's back? Almost exactly the way you left him. His hair's longer. His hair was pretty long already. He has a beard.
It's from Mhysa Aemon of the Night's Watch.
Yeah.
Their Lord Commander is dead. Took a ranging party north and never made it back. One lad did, though. What he saw beyond the wall, it's coming. For all of us.
Yeah. The White Walkers are coming. Is that the battle in the snow you saw?
I've made my decision.
Oh, man.
He's right.
Really?
You need him. He has a part to play in the war to come.
Really? Well, that's nice. How many more notes can I write?
Mhysa! Mhysa!
So that's where the episode name comes from.
What does it mean? It means
Mother. Oh my gosh. Oh, and she's so happy. Oh, I love it. My favorite part of this whole friggin' show. Good lord, look how many people there are. I love that you can still see her too. You can still see her white hair. Oh my gosh. Is that it? That's it. That's it. That has to... listen to that music, man. God, that was a long episode. Okay, I took a lot more notes than I normally do for an episode 10. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 notes. Wow, alrighty. That was awesome, man. That was great. I love that they always end the season with her. Did they end last season with her too? I think they did, didn't they? Where was she in season 2? I don't remember. Oh no, because season 2 was Karth. That's right. So did the episode end with her? I don't remember. But season 1, episode 10 definitely ended with her too. So I love that she ends the season. That's always like the best part for me. And honestly, it's the best part because I love her plotline. I love her plotline. And I love Daenerys. Daenerys is hands down my favorite character in this whole show. I friggin' love Daenerys. So, that was awesome. All right. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna rapid fire some of these notes because I'm on a bit of a time crunch. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through these. I don't know how in depth I'm gonna go on all 11 of these notes, but yeah, here we go. Joffrey versus Tywin. That's the first real I feel confrontation between the two characters. because we haven't really had many scenes with the two of them, I don't think. But, we had that one scene where Joffrey was on the throne and Tywin came to talk to him. And the thing about that was that, Tywin had all the power in that scene, And we talked about that. Tywin had all the power in that scene. There was no doubt that he was the guy in charge. He was in charge of that scene. But, oh my gosh, Darby's barking outside. I don't know if you can hear that. Maybe not. It may or may not have caught on the microphone. But yeah, this is the first time that Joffrey has really... He's definitely in conflict with Tywin. And mostly because... Well, Tywin got in a couple remarks, which he doesn't normally do. Tywin has, in the past, like in Second Sons, when, Tyrion threatened Joffrey, and the two of them, it's like it was about to be a bloodbath. But Tywin did sort of calm everything down. He was like, I'm sure Lord Tyrion didn't mean to insult the king. And so he tried to temper them down. He was like, look, maybe... Your Grace, perhaps we don't need a bedding ceremony. So, he definitely calms him down, but it's like he tried doing that in this scene, but it just didn't work. He didn't do it, and he put in like maybe one or two quips at Joffrey, and it's clear that Joffrey is noticing and he's taking note of it, basically, because he doesn't like that, because to him he is the king. So yeah, I wrote down Tyrion's life, the fact that Tywin says he's so generous, he does something for people's self-interest, or for other people's interests, because he was originally going to kill Tyrion, but he saved him. It's like, that's a very, very weak argument. That it's like, okay, maybe I could give that to him, but that is still one thing that he has ever done in the interest of someone else. Besides, yes, he already had Jaime, but it's kind of the thing that you want to get a ton of sons. You want to get a bunch of heirs. So you have basically there's the phrase the heir and the spare. You need a spare, even if you are so horrified and traumatized by the fact that your wife died in childbirth. That doesn't really translate to. That doesn't carry over to the child. The fact that he was like, I was going to kill you, but I didn't. I let you live. It's like, well, great job, you murderous psychopath. Jeez, man. So, yeah, that whole thing of, well, I let you live. It's like, that's a stretch. And I think that's a stretch, and Tyrion knows it, too. I wrote down Ramsay Bolton, but then I kind of corrected myself to say Snow. I feel like I've heard the name Ramsay Bolton before, and so I was like, oh, okay, Ramsay Bolton. So he's the son of Roose Bolton. And I was like, wait a minute, he said the bastard son. So it's like, so wait, then it would be Snow, which sure enough, they corrected and said Ramsay Snow because he's a bastard. That's the thing. In the North, if you're a bastard, your name's Snow. Which is interesting. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, I think I've heard a character's name before, but then I watch the show and the character's name is different. Because I swear I've heard of Ramsay Bolton before, but it's Ramsay Snow. Where it's the same thing in season 1. You guys told me, or like, I said, like, I've always heard of Joffrey Lannister. Joffrey was never called a Baratheon, at least I don't remember. When I've ever heard him, like, brought up offhand, I thought it was always Joffrey Lannister, but you guys were like, no, it's Joffrey Baratheon, and sure enough, that's his name in this, because he still believes that he is, he still believes that he is a Baratheon, that he's the son of Robert, when technically he's not. And you guys actually said that even if his name wasn't Baratheon, it still wouldn't be Lannister because he's the bastard son of Jaime. And because he grew up in the South, because he was born in the South, he would actually be like Joffrey Waters or something, which is interesting. So, yeah. But, okay, back to Ramsay Snow. Now we kind of get it. I'm pretty sure. Like, this, basically, they kept Theon. They had Theon, and they were going to use him as a hostage. But the Iron Islands, they just didn't care. Balon Greyjoy didn't care that his son had gotten captured. So, Ramsay came up with a plan that he would torture Theon and then eventually send him back, like, piece by piece, basically, and try to use that to get the Greyjoy and the Ironborn out of the North. Because, and that makes sense, because Roose Bolton is now the Warden of the North. He's not, granted, he's not a Stark, and technically the agreement, the circumstance right now is that once Tyrion and Sansa have a son, they will be the Lord of the North and the Lord of Winterfell. But until then, Roose Bolton is the Warden of the North. So he wants all the Ironborn out, and that does make sense. And, geez, man, the fact that, so that's why they cut off Theon's penis, which really does suck. And not only that, but they sent it to his father and his sister, and his father just doesn't even care. Yeah, that's... This whole War of Five Kings, we're really diminishing because, alright, I expect that the next one up to die is Balon Greyjoy. So, but maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. After that, we'll be down to 2 kings after that. There are only 3 kings technically remain. Balon Greyjoy, the king of the Iron Islands, and eventually, I guess he's trying to become the king of the North, too. Joffrey, the king of Westeros, basically, and Stannis, who's the rightful heir to the throne of Robert Baratheon. But technically, so that's, the War of Five Kings thing, where it's like, okay, well, we lost 2 of them now. But technically, eventually it's going to have to be called the War of Five Kings and 1 Queen, because Daenerys is going to come in and just wreck fools, which I love. I wrote down the North, because of, I can't think. Bran. That's it. Bran is going north. So the reason they're going north is not just for him to hone his skills, but is also because they have to be the ones to defeat the White Walkers, which is interesting, which I love. We got a lot of talk about the White Walkers in this. I love it. So yeah. So they're going north not just so that he can master being a warg, but because he has to defeat the White Walkers. That's an interesting tactic. But I love that they ran into Sam. I think that's really cool. And Sam, who has gotten really tough, like anytime he was talking, I was like, man, he's like a lot cooler now, because he's seen things north of the Wall. He's a lot tougher, I think, now. He may be still rubbish with a sword and stuff like that, and may not want to fight, but he has done things north of the Wall, and it's kind of toughened him up, which I like. So I also like that he gave them all obsidian, dragon glass, because he knows, like, okay, they're going north of the Wall. There's nothing I can do about that. But here's a ton of dragon glass because I know it's the only thing that can kill a White Walker. So yeah, that's cool. I wrote down Shay the complication. I do understand where Varys is coming from on that because if Tywin ever found out about Shay, I'm sure that Tyrion would be killed or something. He'd be executed, basically. Like, there would be nothing to stop Tywin's wrath about that. And Varys, because Varys we've had since Ned Stark was thrown in prison, Varys has said he is a servant of the realm. You know, he always says that everything he does is for the realm, and he puts his eggs in the baskets of people that will help the realm, which is why that's why he helped Ned Stark to a degree, but then Ned Stark screwed up. So I almost feel like this is him trying to help Tyrion a bit more, because now Tyrion might, according to him, pretty much, right now, with everything he's seen, Tyrion is the only person in Westeros that can save Westeros, basically. So because of that, he needs to make sure that Tyrion basically stays safe, and Shay does threaten that safety, because if Tywin ever found out, it would not be good. So I totally understand that, but I also totally understand why Shay just didn't take the diamonds. I get it, but he has brought up Daenerys before. I think before Blackwater, he mentioned Daenerys to Tyrion, and Tyrion was like, well, we can't think about that right now, because Stannis was coming. Stannis was coming for battle. So, yeah, it makes me wonder what Varys thinks of Daenerys. He probably would love Daenerys, honestly. Just like everyone loves Daenerys. Everyone pretty much loves Daenerys. All those people, all the Unsullied, everyone loves Daenerys. So, yeah. I wrote down Arya and the Hound. I love the way that she tricked them. Because at first I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, Arya, don't do anything hasty. And then she just said, like, can I get warm? And I'm just like, okay, where are you going with this? And I love the trick of using the coin, too. Of basically putting him in a position where she could just kill him. This like 10-year-old girl, and she just killed that guy. And then, of course, there's 3 other guys there, too, so the Hound has to take care of them. And I love, too, he's not against her killing them. He's against not telling him about it. It's like, look, whatever, if you want to kill people, that's fine. Would you just warn me, though? It's like, oh, I love that. That's so fun. That's so funny. I wrote down Stannis the Conqueror. I liked... That's interesting that Stannis is taking notes from Aegon Targaryen, which he kind of has to do. He has to go in... He basically, because he's the king that has to conquer. Joffrey's already the king of Westeros. He has all of Westeros, basically. Robb was not a conqueror. He was the king of the north, like Balon too. Neither of them were vying for the Iron Throne. They weren't trying to take over all of Westeros. But Stannis is. So I like that, down to the table he has, which was carved by Aegon Targaryen. Aegon? Yeah, Aegon. Yeah, okay. For a second I was like, well, that was his name, right? Aegon? Yeah. It was Aegon the Conqueror. I got confused for a second. I was like, wait, was it Aemon? And I was like, no. That's the Maester. Maester Aemon Targaryen in the Night's Watch. Cool. Anyway. So, yeah, I do like that he is taking notes from the only other conqueror, basically, because that's what he has to do. He has to conquer Westeros, basically, if he wants the Iron Throne. Because he has to deal with the Lannisters. He has to deal with everyone against him at King's Landing. He'll have to deal with, like, Roose Bolton and Walder Frey, maybe. And he'll probably have to deal with Balon Greyjoy, too. He will also have to not necessarily conquer, like, on the field of battle, but he will have to go and secure, like, loyalty from the Vale and stuff like that. He has a lot of work to do. Yeah, he has a lot of work to do if he wants to take over all of Westeros, which technically is his by right. So he has to do all of this because he is the legitimate heir to the throne. So, because of that, he has to take notes from the only other man to conquer Westeros, and that's Aegon Targaryen, and I love that. Aegon and his sisters, but Aegon became the king, so yeah. Oh, I'm spitting all over my notebook. 3 more notes, we're almost there. This is a long friggin' video, isn't it? I wonder if this one's going to be longer than last episode, because last episode was like a 32-minute video, so who knows. I'm looking at my timer. We're at 24 minutes on my camera. Jeez. Okay. I wrote down Jon. I'm glad that Jon is back with the Night's Watch. You know, he hasn't been with the Night's Watch for a while, for a lot of season, like at least half of season 2 and now all of season 3. So he's been gone for a while. So it's nice to have him back with everyone. You know, it's weird to think about because Jon's plotline has been very isolated since the beginning, or since episode 2. But now he was even more isolated, and then that became its own thing. But now, finally, it's merged back together, and it's nice that that's happening. Unfortunately, it's at the cost of his relationship with Ygritte, which is a shame. Friggin' every nice relationship ends horribly, and every single one. It's horrible. So yeah, I wrote down Davos's role. I do like that I forgot that Stannis named him Hand of the King. You know, that's awesome. And so it's cool, first of all, that he saved Gendry. I do really like that. And also the fact that like there was basically no hesitation for Stannis to sentence him to death. But Davos still has an important role. He has to raise the armies back up. He has to make sure that Stannis has enough allies for the war with the White Walkers. And I love that that's the transition now. You know, I feel like we're almost transitioning out of the War of Five Kings, especially now that Robb Stark is dead, and the Lannisters they really don't have a huge enemy like knocking at their door, which Robb was. Now they just have to deal with the Ironborn in the north, and who are just like who they just suck. That's just it. And they do have to deal with Stannis Baratheon, but it's almost like he's still licking his wounds a bit from Blackwater. He needs to regroup and go attack, conquer all of Westeros, and then go fight the White Walkers. But now we're sort of transitioning into the war with the White Walkers. And Daenerys isn't even a part of this, which is crazy. So yeah. And I also like that the Lord of Light or whatever, Melisandre, saw Davos's role as well. They're like, no, we do need this guy. So she was like, yes, we need this guy. Oh well. And then the last thing I wrote down was Mhysa. Because I saw the name of this episode and I was like, well, that's a weird name. I wonder what that means. And I kind of thought to myself, I was like, well, okay, last season had, Valar Morghulis, and I was like, what the heck is that? So I like that we have this now. We have this sort of running thing for a little bit. I don't know if this is going to continue on through the other seasons, but I like that we have this thing where the last episode will be something. It's basically something Essos related. It's in this one. It's this particular Yunkish word for mother, which they are all associating with Daenerys. And last season we had Valar Morghulis, which was associated then with Jaqen H'ghar, who is in Essos right now. So I'm wondering also if Arya is now getting the idea, maybe I should go find Jaqen now. So yeah, that's all I wrote. That was a long discussion, wasn't it? Whew. Okay. That was a really long discussion, but it was worth it. This might be the longest discussion we've had for a season finale, for an episode 10. We don't normally talk this long, but there was a lot in here, and I really did like it. So yeah, with that all being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and next time, we'll start season 4. See you guys then. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Game of Thrones reactions, you can click on the playlist. You can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.